I'm Bob Goffstein for PremierGuitar.com here at First Avenue Live in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And today I'm demoing the 1957 Fender Tweed Twin reissue, the low-power Twin. And some of the features of this amp would include the retro vintage cosmetics with the very nicely done tweed covering. We have a main power fuse, an on-off switch, standby switch, and a pilot light, presence control, bass control, treble control, a volume for the bright channel, and a volume for the normal channel. Each of the channels has two inputs. The number one input is for a high level input, and the number two input is a little lower level input. Same with the normal channel. You can also wire these two channels together, and as I mentioned, that will drive the output tube section a little harder and get a little different type of distortion. The basic sound of the amplifier is quite mid-rangey, so that when you turn up the volume control for that channel, you're actually turning up the mid-range. The treble and bass controls both are quite effective. The presence control over here handles the very high frequency range and is not terribly effective. It's hard to get any type of crystalline highs out of this amp. This amp is designed for basically playing the blues. This particular guitar that I forgot to dust is something I sort of cobbled together myself. It started out as an Epiphone Alley Cat that I picked up at a sale, and I added some Gibson P94 pickups to it, which are single coil and sound a lot like the original soap bars back in the 50s. I also added some higher grade hardware like the stop tailpiece and the bridge, some barrel knobs that I thought went well, and then I played with the headstock a little bit to make the Epiphone insignia look old, and put on some Grover Keystone tuners that work quite well and still maintain that sort of vintage look. Now, to start the sound demo of this amp, I'm going to just turn the normal channel up to 8, which is pretty much a stage volume level. I'm going to leave the treble and bass controls and presence controls down at 1. By the way, all these controls go up to 12, so you can imagine how loud they get. Not the usual 10, but all the way up to 12. So, if I flip the standby switch, we'll make some noise. With this type of space and this hollow stage, I'm really not going to need much bass. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn up the treble control a little bit. And you can hear the pick attack coming in. I'm going to turn up the presence control a little bit. I'll play a little higher string. And you can hear the higher frequencies start coming in a little bit better there with the presence control about halfway up at noon. And as I said, I'm just using the normal channel here. So this is the way the amp may sound when you're on stage playing a gig with your blues band. I've never played in this room before. It's a pretty dark sounding room, so I would probably add some more treble. 11 o'clock. Let's see how that sounds. That sounds better to me. Okay, I just switched guitars to my trusty Fender Super Strat Deluxe 40th anniversary model that says 40 years and still rocking on it. And these pickups are not the stock pickups. This guitar came with lace sensors. These are DiMarzio virtual vintage in the first two positions. The bridge position has a DiMarzio hot rails. So if I want to get nasty, the hot rails has got this sound. Now that I'm playing the Strat, this is where we might think about adding a little bass to the sound. You can hear the lows coming up there. That'll give us a little bit better grind sound with the Strat, which is a much cleaner sounding guitar. So here's what that would sound like. I'm Bob Goffstein for PremierGuitar.com, reviewing the 57 Twin reissue from Fender Custom Shop. If you want to have the holy grail of blues amplifiers, the amplifier played by Mr. Blues himself, Eric Clapton, you can plunk out a little over $3,000 and have one for your very own. If you want to read the full review, please go to PremierGuitar.com, the June issue. Or if you want to hold it in your hand and read it at your leisure without a computer, you can pick up the print issue, which has the full review also, the June issue, and have a bunch of other great info right there at your fingertips. So, Bob Goffstein for PremierGuitar.com, signing off.